What is up, YouTube? Matt McAdam here, your truck editor at Driving Line, with another episode of Chasing Dust, coming at you live from my backyard. Today we're going to be installing a Diamond Eye 4-inch turboback exhaust system on my E350 camper van. This is a 7.3 liter Power Stroke. I mentioned this build a few times in my previous videos. You guys have seen a few of the videos before talking about this project. And since you guys last saw it, it's got a few updates. So I want to walk through those updates with you first, and then we're going to get right into the install on this 4-inch Diamond Eye Performance exhaust. So I might have mentioned to you guys before that I really wanted to figure out what I want to do with the suspension on this van, and I found a solution a couple months ago. I actually found a full Quigley's conversion, 4-wheel drive conversion kit for the E350 vans. The guy was selling it as a complete kit, everything minus the shocks. So it came with a Dana 60 front axle. It may be a Dana 50 actually, I'm not sure. It came out of a early 2000s Ford Super Duty. So either a 50 or a 60 axle. It came with the knuckles, obviously, the unit bearings, all of the components, the control arms, the control arm brackets for the frame. And really what it entailed was just cutting off all the factory two-wheel drive Ford I-beams and just basically bolting on everything that came in this kit. It was pretty easy. It took us about, I want to say, 6 hours to get the axle slung underneath the truck. There's still a few things you have to button up on there with the steering and the shocks, just to make sure that everything is all done correctly. We're kind of taking our time getting the right parts. So it's not fully done yet, but it is on its own weight and it's rolling around. So I can't wait to get this thing actually drivable on the highway and see how it does. So here is the 4-wheel drive setup on the van. You can see the solid axle there, tie rod, track bar, drag link, all that stuff is in there. All brand new U-joints, brand new ball joints, all kinds of cool stuff in here. So really stoked to have this underneath the van now, because that's really one of the hardest parts of this whole build, was doing the 4-wheel drive conversion. So we got some new Moog springs on there too. Really nice stuff. I don't have the wheels and tires that I want on there yet, but soon enough we'll have those on there, and you know, make sure that it's all looking nice with a good stance on there. But today we're going to be focusing on performance. So one of the first things you can do to a 7.3 liter diesel, or really any diesel, turbo diesel that you can find in this era, is change the exhaust on it, because the factory exhaust on these things are really restrictive. One of the benefits of doing an exhaust on a turbo diesel truck is it really helps control your EGTs, or your exhaust gas temperatures. The factory exhaust is usually very restrictive, and what it can do is it creates a lot of built-up heat inside the exhaust system, and that's what heats up your turbo and leads to premature wear, coking the oil inside the turbo, a lot of things you don't want to happen. Especially if you're going to be adding more performance stuff like a tuner or other things to your truck, or your van in this case. So for me, one of the first things I do is I'll do an exhaust system. Diamond Eye Performance is one of the premier diesel exhaust systems out there. They create kits for all kinds of trucks, aluminized, stainless steel. They have all different sizes for many different vehicles. So check them out, see if they have something for your truck or your van. They're the only company out there who actually makes a kit specific to the E350 van. So it's a different chassis than the F350 or the F250. The truck chassis is a little bit different. So the truck exhaust kits do not work on this van, but they actually make one that's made for the van. So of course, this was the kit to go with. Very, very happy to work with these guys. I can't wait to hear this thing. It's going to be a straight pipe, so there's literally going to be no catalytic converter, no muffler, nothing. Just 4-inch, you know, from the turbo all the way to the tailpipe. So it's going to wake this thing up pretty nicely. I think one of the first things that you have to do when you're going to do an exhaust video or an install for an exhaust is show the before sound, and then you can show the after later. So let's fire this thing up and hear what it sounds like bone stock. So I'm going to warn you, the 7.3 liter is a pretty loud motor to begin with, but the exhaust side of it isn't too loud. It's just mostly the engine clacking. So like I was saying, you get a lot of sound coming from up here, but once you walk around the back of the van, there's not a whole lot of sound coming from the exhaust. pretty mild. The tip doesn't look that great, you know, it's just kind of whatever, meh. All right, let's shut it off before it gets too hot to touch. Nobody likes working on a really hot exhaust, so I'm gonna let it cool off for a minute or two because I just drove it into the backyard. And then we'll start cutting out the factory exhaust. So one of the first things we gotta do is remove the factory exhaust, and in order to get to the factory downpipe, we have to take the inspection cover or the doghouse cover off, which I've removed here so you can see the back of the engine and the top of the transmission bell housing right there. There's the turbo, and as you can see, right there is the downpipe, and there's a V-band clamp holding it to the turbo outlet right there, and the bottom side, I'm not sure what's really holding it together, but I can tell you right now this is a lot easier than the Ford F350 because you cannot reach the back of the engine like this on that truck. So the downpipe, actually the factory downpipe, has to come off in two pieces. You have to cut it in half. On this one, I think it can be removed as one piece if I give it a nice relief cut down at the bottom there, and then just pull on the top of the downpipe and get it out of the van. So I think that's how I'm going to go about it. I'm going to go take a look underneath and see what it looks like. But overall, I'm actually kind of surprised there's not really any crazy fuel leaks or anything that you normally would get on a high mileage 7.3. Looks like everything is in order. Valve covers, you know, a little bit of seeping maybe, but not really anything wet. So that's always good news. All right, so just loosen up the factory band clamp here on the turbo. This band clamp is reused on the new exhaust system, so we're going to take it off the pipe once the whole downpipe comes out, and then install this onto the new downpipe. Just got the factory exhaust out of the van. That was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It started out pretty easy. I was able to easily remove the downpipe, and then some of the other pipes in between, but the muffler had a double hanger on it, and those things were just frozen on there. So it took a lot of WD-40 and a lot of pulling on a set of channel locks to free those two up, but I finally got them all off. And there's the remains of what's left here. So I got the new exhaust all ready to go here. This is the Diamond Eye 4-inch kit. Again, straight pipe, no muffler, no catalytic converter. My van is a 99, early 99, so it actually didn't come with a catalytic converter from the factory. So this is basically just deleting a muffler and adding a few inches of diameter to the pipe. So got it all laid out here. Starting out here, we have the downpipe. Got the flange on there for the turbo. Comes down, meets up with this straight pipe here, to another straight pipe there where the muffler would typically go, to the over axle pipe, and then out the tailpipe here, angled out behind the rear tire on the passenger side. All right, now we're going to start the installation process. First things first, we're going to put the downpipe in, make sure that flange is bolted up to the turbo nice, then work our way back. One tip, if you guys are doing exhaust systems on any car, is make sure you fit everything up there loosely and start from the front of the vehicle, work your way back, make sure the tailpipe's in the right position, and then once you have everything where it needs to be, then start tightening down the clamps, and that'll help keep everything straight as you do it. If you start tightening from the front and keep tightening on the way back, the tailpipe could be a couple inches off at that point. So something to keep in mind when you're installing an exhaust system. All right, well, the exhaust is fully installed now, and if you're wondering why I'm wearing a different t-shirt, it's because it's now the next day. I ran into a little issue with just not being able to drop down my spare tire to get that tailpipe to fit perfectly right, and I didn't have the tool to drop the spare tire down, so I had to borrow it from a friend, so it took me into the next day to finish the installation. Overall, very smooth, very easy. The hardest part was just getting the factory exhaust out of the van because those rubber hangers were just stuck on there so well. So really soaking those in some WD-40 helped a lot. I just let it sit in there for a couple of minutes, let them really saturate the rubber, and then it slid right out, no problem after that. I did have to cut a few pieces of the pipe to get it out because they wouldn't all remove in one piece. But otherwise, it was a smooth install. The best part about this was the downpipe installation. I've done 4-inch exhaust systems on F250s and F350 trucks in the past, and the downpipe is a real pain in the butt because you can't really get down between the motor and the firewall to fit that pipe in there. But since we have a van, you can pull the doghouse cover off, and that's the downpipe fits so much easier. You can just reach right in there, fit it in place, and it was good to go. I did have to trim about 3 inches off the pipe because I do have a shorter van than the extended body, so they give you the length for both. So trimming that was not a big deal. So now that it's all in, let's fire it up and hear the difference from the stock sound to the new Diamond Eye Performance 4-inch turboback. The 7.3 is quite a loud engine from the front of the truck, so you may not hear any difference from up here, but once I move to the back, should be able to hear the difference in the exhaust tone. Let the glow plugs warm up real quick. And away we go. It's pretty deep. It's a loud sound. You can hear it from here. You gotta love that 7.3 sound. Nice and deep. Gotta love that 7.3 sound, right? My favorite part of the new exhaust is that you can actually hear the turbo whistle a little bit now. Obviously, I haven't got it on the road yet, but once I do, I'm sure I can put it under some load and start to hear the boost build up and the turbo spool up. That's kind of like my favorite part about the 4-inch turbo back, is you can really start to hear that turbo. So it's really awesome. I'm super stoked to run this Diamond Eye exhaust system with some of the other power adders that I have coming, like the gearhead tunes on my PHP Hydra tuner that I ordered. And then I can watch all the parameters, all the readings off of the new Edge Insight CTS3. Those are both courtesy of Diesel Power Products. So we'll do another video on that stuff once that comes in and we install it. That's going to wrap things up for us today here on Chasing Dust. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Show all your friends these videos if they got diesel vans, if they got diesel trucks. They make exhaust systems for that. Check out Diamond Eye Performance. They got a lot of really cool products out there for all you diesel guys. And it's a really easy install. Like I said, I did it all by myself here in my backyard. So please check them out. Can't wait to show you guys what's coming up next for this project. And of course, a few updates for the Toyota as well. This is your truck editor, driving line, Matt McAdam, aka Desert Chief, signing off. I'll see you guys on the next one.